second lesson of the unit number 4, Regional Spanish. Today's episode is episode 38, Argentine Spanish. The objective of today's lesson is to learn Argentinian slang. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Spanish with Solange, the podcast, where we learn Spanish with calmness, clarity, and culture. I am Solange, and I am delighted you will join me for another exciting lesson. In our previous episode, we explored the fascinating characteristics of Spanish from Spain. Today we continue our journey around the Spanish-speaking world by traveling to one of the most vibrant and distinctive countries in Latin America, Argentina. Argentine Spanish has a unique, rich, expressive vocabulary and a personality all of its own. Even native Spanish speakers from other countries often notice its special accent and colorful everyday expressions. Today we will discover some of the most famous Argentine words and understand how they are used in real conversations. So, let's begin. Part 1 of today's lesson. What makes Argentine Spanish special? Argentina is one of the largest Spanish-speaking countries in the world, and its language reflects centuries of history, immigration, and cultural influences. One of the first things you will notice is the melody of the accent. Many learners say that Argentine Spanish sounds almost musical, and some even compare its intonation to Italian. You will also hear the use of vos instead of tu, feature known as voceo. For example, instead of ¿Cómo estás tú?, you will often hear ¿Cómo estás vos?. Both mean how are you. This is completely normal in Argentina and parts of Uruguay. Part 2 of today's lesson. The famous word che. Let's begin with perhaps the most iconic Argentine expressions, che. You will hear it everywhere. It doesn't have one exact translation, but it's commonly used to get someone's attention or to express familiarity. It can mean, hey, mate, listen, for example. Che, ¿cómo estás? Hey, how are you? Or, che, vení un momento. Hey, come here for a moment. It's warm, informal, and very Argentine. Interestingly, this expression became internationally famous because of the vocabulary. Ernesto Che Guevara, who received the nickname due to how often he used the word. Practice. Repeat after me. Che. Che, ¿todo bien? Excellent. Part 3. Boludo. Now let's talk about one of the Argentina most recognizable words, boludo. This word requires a little cultural understanding. Originally, it was an insult. However, among close friends, it's often used affectionately, rather like saying mate or dude. For example, boludo, hace mucho que no te veo. Dude, I haven't seen you for ages. But be careful. If you don't know someone well, using this word may sound rude or offensive. Context is everything. This is an excellent reminder that language is not only about vocabulary but also about relationships and social situations. Cultural note. In every language, some expressions change meaning depending on tone and friendship. English has similar examples. Words that are acceptable between close friends may not be appropriated in professional situations. Argentine Spanish works in much the same way. Part 4 of today's lesson, laburo. Our third expression is laburo, meaning work, job. Instead of saying tengo mucho trabajo, many Argentinians naturally say tengo mucho laburo, meaning I have a lot of work. Another example, estoy buscando laburo. I am looking for a job. It's informal, friendly, and extremely common in everyday conversations. Practice together. Repeat. Tengo mucho laburo. Very good. Now, estoy buscando laburo. Excellent. Part 5. Mini conversation. Let's hear these expressions together. María, che, ¿cómo estás? Juan, ¿todo bien? ¿Y vos? María, muy bien. Tengo mucho laburo esta semana. Juan, boludo, descansa un poco. Notice how naturally the expressions appear. They are not insulated vocabulary words. They are part of everyday communication. Part 6. Argentine culture. Argentina is famous for much more than its language. It's known for football legends, tango, traditional barbecues called asados, mate, the famous herbal drink shared among friends and family. Sharing mate is much more than drinking tea. It's a symbol of friendship, trust, and conversation. When someone offers you mate, they are often inviting you to share a moment together. Language and culture are always connected. When you understand both, your communication becomes richer and more meaningful. Cultural moment. One of the most interesting aspects of Argentina is how expressive people are during conversation. Friends often greet each other with warmth, humor, and animated gestures. Conversations tends to be lively, emotional, and full of personality. We hear laughter, affectionate teasing, and expressing vocabulary, all within the same conversation. As I learned, don't be afraid of this energy. It's part of what makes Argentine culture so welcoming and memorable. Learning this expression isn't about copying an accent. It's about understanding the people who use them. Key takeaways. Today you will learn why Argentine Spanish sounds unique, the meaning of che, how boludo changes depending on context, why laburo is so commonly used, the importance of culture when learning regional Spanish. Every new regional expression helps you understand another part of the Spanish-speaking world. In our next lesson, we will continue exploring regional Spanish by traveling to another fascinating Spanish-speaking country. Episode 39, Mexican Spanish. We'll discover everyday vocabulary, common expressions, pronunciation, and cultural traditions. What makes a Mexican Spanish one of the most recognizable varieties around the world. I can't wait to continue this journey with you. Thank you so much for joining me in another episode of Spanish with Solange. I hope today's lesson has shown you that every Spanish speaking country brings its own color, personality, and beauty to the language. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow the podcast, leave a review, and share it with another Spanish learners. You can also find Spanish with Solange on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Deezer, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and across our social media channels. Until next time, keep learning, stay curious, and remember, every accent tells a history and every expression opens a new cultural door. I am Solange and I will see you in the next episode. Hasta la próxima. Adiós.